You know, the biggest challenge I have coming into and then coming out of the convention week is keeping my voice. Woo! And my wife of almost 31 years, Colleen, told me that for my birthday, she's gonna get me a speech coach. Because I've got to find a way to keep my voice through all the meetings and all of the activities. So I apologize this morning if I'm a little raspy. This morning I wanted to just spend a little time talking about the future, because I think it's important. It clearly matters to be able to put forth a plan where you can speak your truth. Again, back to courage comes from the Latin word cor, heart. It's important for you to be able to speak your personal truth, to be able to show your humanity, to be able to bring more and more people into this business, for them to know that they simply can be themselves, that they're welcome, that the diversity is what makes us strong, that in fact the unity is that purpose of seeking justice for all, opportunity for all. To be able to see people succeed quickly, it matters because it builds more belief. And this is a long journey for us, my friends. It's one that we're going to have to accept that there will be trials and tribulations, there will be challenges before us. So we have to nurture each other. We have to fortify our spirit so that we have the ability to overcome obstacles and challenges. But as we proceed forwards and we advance through the ranks, as we receive the gratification, again, of a milestone, not a destination, of a ring, 50, 100, 150, 200. You're building a business based upon the true system of success, the 10 core commitments. You're telling people the truth. You're telling everyone you meet the truth about how this changes lives. It changes lives because we live free as citizens only if we have equal representation, advice, and counsel under the law. We only live free if we have a belief that we have control over our own fortune and finances. And each of these are grounded in our belief and our faith in God and in each other. And so as we move forwards in that way, it's certainly sweet to know that there are rewards ahead of us, that we are able to establish a business that we heard perhaps more so than in any convention I've attended, that people have gotten to that point where now their income is as earned, that they have an as earned income that is occurring. We've heard testimonies where again, people have suffered health tragedies, sudden losses, that they've had to step away from the business, but the business didn't step away from them. We build this powerful business, and let's be honest, it's nice to know that there is that reward. And when we talked last night about in 5 years' time, many of you, those that choose to do what we know can be done, we've seen it before. We've seen Mr. Self. We've seen Darnell and Tracy Self get to that $1 million ring. We've seen that happen. Now, as he just said, you can build a business and you can grab that in a day. $1 million out there on the future plan. It's part of our Vision 2020. Because Vision 2020, empowering millions of entrepreneurs, protecting tens of millions of our fellow citizens, it only happens when you make it happen. And you know, it's wonderful to know that you're doing well while you're doing good for other people, doing good for our society. And yes, there is no limit on how many people can earn $1 million in a day when they reach that 5-year goal of platinum for life. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, sir.
But I do want you to understand why you should believe that it's not just your hard work. And I touched upon it last night. I do want you to know the business is really not becoming more complicated. We're simply trying to make the business better. We're sticking to the basics. The one thing that I cannot stress enough, if you haven't practiced it, this is the one thing I want you to commit to me that you will practice doing today, and that is sharing the mobile app from your share site. Because when you do, the person that receives it, and they touch that button, and they download it, they are your prospect. They will be your member. They will be your teammate. It's hard-coded. When you send that, it's even more certain than handing out a disc, handing out a magazine. It's equal to sending out the video, but it's more actionable. You see, interestingly, our videos are still very successful, where people can see the truth about the opportunity and hear from others, a third-party tool. But in some ways, it's still passive. They're watching it. The only action they can take is to follow up with you. And now hopefully get to a PBR, get to a briefing, learn a little bit more. But once you've placed the mobile app in their hand, it changes everything. A couple of things to remember. It is in fact a gift. One of the things I was told very early on about network marketing is that traditionally, I don't know if it was Amway or if it was Avon or if it was Mary Kay, I don't know, but it was wear the pin, present the sample, discuss the opportunity. That was the 3 steps. And again, I don't know who created that originally, but wear the pin, lose weight now, ask me how. I mean, think about it, right? And then when they ask, well, here, let me share with you, this shake or this pill or whatever it might be. Try these for a little bit. And then, and by the way, when you do this, you might be interested in knowing that when you share this with others, you can make some money as well. It's a business opportunity if you'd like to spend some time on it. Well, first off, this is our pin. And I challenge you all to recognize that if you don't wear the pin, no one will ever ask you about it. I receive on average about 12 questions just living life about this pin. I wear it every hour of every day. When I am not sleeping, I have this on. And people ask me about it. They lean in. Some people are like, oh, I wish it was, we need like a big lady at justice, like a parrot on the shoulder or something, There's actually a beauty to it because people have to kind of lean in. What is that? And then when they see it, they almost always smile. It's fascinating because the Lady of Justice is a universal symbol for us about equality and freedom and justice. And so wear the pin. Wear the pin. Here's another thing. Maybe carry some with you. I mean, pinning other people again, it's a lost art. I mean, we do it when anyone comes to our home office. We pin everybody. We pin people. And so I just share with you the thought, wear the pin. But here's the thing, we never had something that we could share like others. We never had that sample. We never had that package. Well, now we do. You can say, well, here's a magazine and it features our company, or here's a DVD. But being able to share a mobile app, you just move things to another place. You moved it to another place. Wow. I mean, what do we know is app-driven? Uber, Airbnb, Instagram. These are things that only function through the mobile app. Suddenly we put ourselves at a different level. And then it doesn't take very long to do. And then you can say to them, you know what? Look, you can talk to them about it. While they're loading it, you can talk to them about it. Unlimited consultation, unlimited number of calls, because we want you to develop a relationship. By the way, start to think about that language when you talk to people. We want you to have the ability to make unlimited calls on unlimited issues because we want you to develop a relationship with the law firm. Please practice that a little bit for me when you're talking to people, because that's the reason why it's unlimited. Because otherwise, again, if we aren't purposeful in our language, then we just kind of leave it to chance. When you say, hey, unlimited calls on unlimited topics, they may be thinking like, I mean, how much of a lawbreaker do they think I am? Right? But that's not the point. It's that we've all been thinking that the law is about when bad things happen. No, my friends, in life, law happens. It either is happening to you or you are making it happen. Does that make sense?
Yes.
When you have a problem with a landlord, you're going to get defense, but it's going to be unpleasant because it already is. Whereas if you have your lease reviewed by your law firm proactively, you've already sent the message to the landlord that you are LegalShield. And when the time comes for you to leave, they don't just assume that they're going to keep your money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now you've reduced the stress, but now you're in control of life. In life, law happens. And the same thing's true on all things. Best problem that you can avoid is one that never begins. You see? But that relationship is the key word there. They download that mobile app, and maybe they're not ready. They're not ready to talk about the business. They're not ready to talk about the membership. Just make sure they know, hey, just play around with it. I mean, free legal forms here. Maybe you've got something you're going to sell on Craigslist. Make sure, or buy, by the way. Make sure you use that buy-sell agreement, okay? Because you want to make sure that you're protected, okay? You want to make sure that you're protected when you're selling something or buying something on Craigslist. And you know what? If you ever have a question about a legal term, again, lawyers have all this gobbledygook language. Ask the questions right here on our chatbot, Aaron. Just keep asking. And by the way, if you ask a question and it comes back and says it doesn't know the answer, LegalShield's watching that, and they're going to get the answer put back into the database. So help us be better. Help us be better. You see what I'm saying? So you're encouraging people. And then you get to say, like, here's the 24/7 emergency access. You can get your will, now prenuptial, God forbid divorce, or even bankruptcy. By the way, bankruptcy in the United States of America and in Canada, the way that the law is structured is to give people a second chance. You see, it's very different than other nations. I know that it's still, people can feel shame around it. We all talked about shame makes people disconnect. But we put these in place because you can't get to the other side. You can't get to a new start until you get through your past. Does that make sense? And then bankruptcy code is meant to help people get through and to the other side. So you show them all these things. Now, maybe they're at the not yet. Okay. But they still have it. Now, let me talk about consumer behavior, why it's so powerful. If they ever look at that app, and we want them to, you can obviously follow up with them. Hey, have you given it some thought? Have you used the app yet? Have you tried it? When they look at that app, it is a process of discovery. Now, for all of you, you can think about it. When you discover something, that is a powerful thing. Suddenly you're like, there's a light bulb that comes on. Nobody's turning the light bulb on. You're turning the light bulb on. When you look at it and say, man, I can use this for free, but wow, this really is a law firm in the palm of my hand. Look at all the things that I can do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then when they join, you get notified, okay, that they're there. And that's the best time to say, hey, you know what? If you have an hour, I'd love to pick you up, take you to a PBR or to a briefing. Got one in the neighborhood. Want to be able to spend a little time with you, learn a little bit more about this. Because you've made a life-changing decision. Now let's learn how you can change the lives of more people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Now I want to talk to you just a little bit about why you should have more and more confidence in the app. So what we're building as a company for Vision 2020 is the most authentic and powerful directory of lawyers and law firms in North America. You can see it already starting now when you go to LegalShield.com and you click on law firms. And then you enter your state or your province, and up comes the law firm with their history, their location, a little video, but most importantly, now you see the lawyers at that law firm. You see their photograph. You see their name. You see the areas of law in which they specialize. Because again, in life you don't need a lawyer, you need a law firm. And so now you suddenly see and you should use this even when you are talking to people. It comes up beautifully on a mobile phone or on an iPad, is that you can show them these are the lawyers and this is what they do. Now, think of each one of those things, and this is probably going to date me, but like a baseball card. I don't even know, if anybody knows that reference other than, anybody know what a baseball card is?
Yeah.
And for younger people, think about it as ESPN stats. It's where now we've got a photograph, we've got a name, the school where they went to law school. We know if they published any articles. We know if they have accreditation, for instance, with a tax authority, if they're a member of an association of law. We see the areas of law in which they practice. We see the geography that they practice. It's now a very rich piece of content. Well, this year we're now expanding that from our law firms to all of the referral law firms and all of the referral lawyers.
Wow.
The other thing that we're starting to do, and did anyone come to the breakfast meeting this week on LegalShield en Español? Did anyone get to? Oh yes, okay. Well, we're going to be working very diligently to launch a LegalShield in Spanish.
Wow.
It's going to be quiet for a little while. It's going to be a little quiet for a little while. I mean, associates are going to begin to build, because again, the pre-work pays, okay? Building some meetings in Spanish, building some briefings in Spanish, beginning to get the community ready. We're now filing the plan with all of the regulatory bodies. We're going to get the final information ready for the dedicated and unique law firms that will deliver the service. It doesn't mean that we don't love Parker Stanberry or Davis Miles or DSK. We love our law firms, but it was a difficult request to say, please go and hire bilingual lawyers on the chance that people may want to speak in Spanish. That's different than saying, this is a law firm where Spanish is first. That everyone there is there because they are Latino American. Does that make sense? Thank you. Now, think about this dedicated group also represented in this directory. We now have the ability to present all of these lawyers. In the future, we will have a dedicated network of law firms focused solely upon immigration law. And being able to just build the authenticity and the authority of this network. Now I'm going to go back to the playing card. So here is a great lawyer. We see this woman, her education, her areas of law practice, but suddenly now we see that there's a new button in the future, a button that you could access from your mobile app, a button that you will be able to access from your home computer. And it says, I would like for her to be my lawyer. And I push that button, and I'm going to be in communication, either talking or video chatting with that lawyer within 8 hours. Does that make sense? And right next to that button, it says, now that I have confidence that people of that stature are at this law firm, there's another button that says, I'd like to speak to the next available attorney in this area of law and law firm, and when you do, you'll speak to a lawyer in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Boom! I'm just saying. So now this beautiful directory, this powerful, authentic authority of law is built out with all choice is good. Okay? Free to choose. Suddenly we present our own diversity and the strength of that diversity unified in our purpose. And all of it's accessed through the mobile app in your hand. Does that make sense, everyone? Do you see where we're going? Do you see where we're going? So yes, I want you motivated because money isn't the end, it's a means. It's a means for us to be able to live life the way we want, but also to be able to help other people. You know, the truth is, you'll go past a point where you don't need any more money. And what beautiful advice we received from Larry Smith and Matthew Root. Choose your lifestyle and live that. And then when the money's more than you need, now you can use it to make change with other people. You can give it back to your community and philanthropy in your church. You can help other people that need it. You know, all we really want from this opportunity is to give people a helping hand. And some people need a lift up. They need a lift up before they got to stand up before they can walk. They got to walk before they can run. So I just ask for you, the money is a beautiful thing. And it will motivate you. But know that more than anything else, change for us is good. We are making things better. And that is why, my friends, from the bottom of my heart, I tell you that I believe that we are LegalShield. And the best is yet to come. God bless you.